I just got out of a meeting at my SEO agency and they hit me with a statistic that blew my mind. On average, we increased our clients' traffic by 57% in the first 6 months. Great. For e-commerce clients, it's 70%. I had a feeling there was a difference. E-commerce is stupid easy compared to other forms of SEO. And that's because there's a false belief that e-commerce is hard to get into. And that makes e-commerce SEO competition super low. In this video, I'm going to explain why you'd have to be smoking crack not to do e-com SEO, how to actually do e-commerce SEO, and I'll be showing you techniques that guaranteed work because they actually did work on websites with huge traffic gains. And then lastly, how to get started as a beginner doing e-commerce SEO. And no, that doesn't mean going out and buying 20,000 coffee machines on Alibaba. I don't know jack shit about e-commerce myself. Talk to me about supply chain, inventory, and return policies, and I've already stopped listening. Now, in case we haven't met before, my name is Matt Digney, and I'm the owner of the Search Initiative, an international SEO agency founded in 2016 that served over 560 customers, 108 were e-commerce clients. Now, there's many reasons you want to get your hands up in the e-commerce pie. For one, as stated before, there's less competition than, let's say, blogging or lead generation. Many people think that e-commerce is hard to get into. People be like, you mean I need to invent a product and shell out a bunch of money to get it made?
Not knowing if it'll ever sell?
I agree. That does sound hard, and I'd never do that. At the end of this video, we'll get into some ridiculously easy ways to get into this game without all that risk. Other people get scared off by a false information barrier about how hard it is to actually do e-com SEO. There's a billion YouTube videos, websites, and courses on how to make a blog. How many of them are for e-com SEO? Very few. So how do you actually do it? The differences from normal SEO aren't that big, and we'll also get into that later too. Another huge reason to start e-com is because it just makes more money, and that's due to higher margins. As an Amazon affiliate, if you sell some skin cream, you're going to make a 5% commission rate. So if that skin cream costs $100, you just made $5. Now, if you're drop shipping skin cream, partnered directly with the skin cream brand, or hell, you made your own skin cream, you're looking at 40% margins. Your $100 sale just made you $40. And that's more money for marketing, diversifying your traffic, and filling your bank account. Next, e-com is a growing industry. Always has been and always will be. At least until we start 3D printing everything. Here's a chart from Statistica showing the growth trajectory of e-commerce worldwide. This train isn't stopping. And this growth chart from Shopify shows an 8.8% year-on-year increase. But it's not just economic trends that make it silly not to jump on the e-com train. Even Google has been diverting more traffic to e-com websites over time. You'll get more traffic by simply existing. Just check out this traffic graph for this e-com client that came to us recently. They actually look forward to Google updates. So you get it now. E-com is the place to be in SEO at the moment. We're about to do a deep dive, but real quick, I want to let you know, right now my agency, the Search Initiative, is taking on a handful of clients for $1,000 off the first month in exchange for a testimonial down the road. Just head on over to thesearchinitiative.com, fill in your details, and we'll give you a free audit letting you know what we can do for you. All right, let's teach you the specific techniques that make e-com SEO. Let's start with category page optimization. This is one of the strategies we use to increase a sex toy website's traffic by 90%.
Oh my God.
Categories are important for user experience and helping the buyer. For example, if you have a sweatshirts category, writing about the history of sweatshirts doesn't help them buy shit. Instead, they'll want to know what kind of fabrics the sweatshirts are made out of, what kind of designs and colors the sweatshirts come in, what sweatshirts are the most popular. Category pages should have just a few sentences below the main H1 heading describing the category items below. Then you should get more in detail about the category topic below the actual item. This helps Google rank your page better as the additional information provides better context. Your category URL structure should look something like this, which reduces the risk of having to change the URLs or the whole structure if new product lines or ranges are added. Your internal linking should follow the same pattern, linking from high-level categories down to subcategories. And don't sleep on schema, but use ChatGPT to make it for you. Your prompt, can you write a template for item list structured data, please? You'll get a nice template like this where you just need to fill in the blanks.
Very nice!
And don't forget your titles and descriptions, which can also be produced en masse with ChatGPT. Prompt, here's a list of category pages on my website. Footwear, shoes, sneakers, sandals, boots. All are men's. I'd like you to write SEO optimized page titles and meta descriptions for each one. For the title, keep the keywords men's plus category towards the front. And here's your output for 5 categories, all done in 5 seconds. Let's talk more about user experience optimization, which was also important for the sex toy client. Now, there's a lot of different factors that contribute towards experience. Bounce rate, dwell time, page loading speed, secure website, mobile friendliness, navigation, readability, goal completion, and contactability, something our client was missing. You'd think it's not a big deal, but for e-com, You simply cannot rank without some way for clients to make returns and get support. And this is something Google clearly spells out in their quality rater guideline. Now, since you're a viewer of this channel, I bet you have a contact page already. But is it really built out to perfection? Here's a complete GigaChad contact page checklist. Company name, address, phone number, and email address. This is the no-brainer stuff. You also need a contact form, links to your social media profiles, contact details for multiple departments, contact details for multiple locations, an embedded map, directions to your location, and instructions on when and why they should contact you, plus an FAQ for common problems. By the way, here's a quick word from the sponsor of this video, Search Intelligence.
This campaign got us big links in websites such as Lifehacker, Wales Online, Daily Record, and about 20 other news websites. Let me show you how we've done it. We knew that people will be flying a lot this summer, and we knew that journalists will be writing about this topic a lot. So, on behalf of our client, we put together a nice guide about how to fall asleep on the plane. Then we use Muckrack to find journalists who write about travel. Then we put our advice in a nice email and send the tips to the journalists. Within just a few days, the links started landing, securing our client natural placements in really big websites, just like this, and this. This is a great example about how you can leverage seasonal trends to earn links to a website. Anticipate what journalists want to write about at all times and give them the stories that they need. They will reward you with some great, juicy links. I hope this is helpful.
Now back to the video. Now let's get into product description optimization. This is something we do for every e-com client, but was particularly effective for this medical supply company's 60% traffic gain. Any piece of content with buyer intent, whether that be an e-commerce page or a product review, has a dual purpose. First, to get traffic on Google by being SEO optimized, and second, to convert readers into buyers. Always keep your target customer in mind. For example, if you're selling or reviewing headphones to casual listeners on your site, you're going to want to put your lower end durable headphones front and center and use language like great for everyday use. But for the audiophiles, it's all about sound quality. So you'd use the nerdy jargon words like lossless and signal to noise ratio. But also, don't overdo it when it's not needed. Nike puts their product images forward in this product page because everyone knows what a fleece is. You either like the design or you don't. In those cases when you do need to dig into the details, be informative. List out the key features and benefits, the technical specifications, and FAQs. And here's a big one. Make sure your product descriptions are unique. One of the worst things you can do is rip the same description from the manufacturer's website. Google holds back duplicate content. Here's a description taken directly from Sony's website about one of their TVs. And here's a website that just went yoink. That sounds nice. I'll use it on my site. Not just once, but 10,000 times. How much traffic does this page get on Google? Is 0 a lot? Now, before we get into how anyone can get started with e-com, let's talk about website architecture. This is the absolute bane of SEOs that are getting into e-com.
I will break you.
But it was clutch for doubling our sneaker clients' traffic in a few months. E-commerce sites can easily spiral into a hot mess when product pages aren't categorized properly. But it's not only that. If Google can't crawl and understand your website, then you can assume that your visitors can't either. But if you create a clear site structure with natural interlinking, Google will make out with your e-com site. Have a shallow crawl depth. Users should be able to reach each page on your site from the homepage in no more than 4 clicks. Split products into relevant categories and subcategories. This diagram depicts a pretty nice structure. If you have products that fit into more than one category page, for example, you might have a shoe that's both casual and athletic, I recommend using rel equals canonical to point to the most relevant category URL for the product. Just decide which category that is. Ensure each level in the structure links back to the level above it. Products should link up to subcategories, subcategories should link to parent categories, and so forth. And lastly, be clear and simple. Structure your pages to reflect how users would visit your site in a logical and clear fashion. Now, we couldn't talk about site architecture without getting into internal linking. Let's start with navigational internal links. These are the links that appear in your navigation bar. If we look at Uniqlo's navigation bar, you can clearly see their category and subcategory structure. It's done perfectly and follows the model structure that we were referencing before. Now, contextual links are made in the content of one page and linked to another page. You want contextual links going downward from category to subcategory to product, and upwards the other direction. This is going to happen naturally with your typical WooCommerce or Shopify e-commerce layout. You can also do horizontal linking where one product links to another product, maybe because people usually buy them together, or they're related products such as a raincoat and rain boots. I also recommend making a blog where you would target long tail keywords or top of the funnel keywords, such as this Uniqlo summer style guide. Not only will it help getting more visitors to your site, but you'll be creating more internal links to your products, which creates more relevance and more opportunity for visitors to find and buy these products. All right, so let me show you the best possible ways you can get involved in e-com without all the headache. The first one is quite obvious compared to the next ones, but start doing client work or build an agency for e-commerce sites.
But Matt, I thought the whole point of SEO is so you can be your own boss.
First, if you're an affiliate and you don't think you're working for someone else, you're wrong. You're a salesperson. Second, when you're working with the right e-commerce company that can scale and has high margins, trust me, they're not paying you $1,000 a month. When you can get them results, $10,000 per month is more likely. Or sometimes even profit share or equity, as I'll show you later. Next, if you want a bigger piece of the pie, then dropship. E-commerce is hard. You gotta find suppliers and buy inventory up front, which is a huge risk. What if it doesn't work and you're stuck with 10,000 whatevers burning up money with warehouse fees? With dropshipping, you outsource the stocking, packing, shipping, and returns to a dropship partner. The upside to you is that you get to build an e-commerce format website, which Google is absolutely in love with these days. But underneath, you don't have to do any of the work. Your dropshipper does that. How to get started with dropshipping? Try a course called Dropship Breakthrough. No affiliation here. My friends just say it's the affiliate lab of dropshipping. This next e-commerce entry point is my favorite. Partner with e-com businesses. Not as their agency service provider, but actual partners. There's two ways to go about this. Story time. We were in an affiliate niche selling a beauty product. The product was cheap at $8 and we were making 3% commish, so you can guess how excited I was about these 24-cent commission. That said, we were selling a lot of them, hundreds per month. So we found a partner with experience with physical product, and together decided to make a premium $60 product. And because I already had the traffic and a proven market delivered on a platter, I was able to negotiate 50% of the sales. So now I'm making $30 each. That's 125x as much money. The model is simple. Look at what you're selling a lot of on Amazon, and then find someone to make a premium version. Where do you find these people? Online communities like e-commerce Fuel, which is fabulous by the way, and heading to the Affiliate World conferences, which are chock full of people making products and looking for traffic. You can also try the smart agency model. This is where you're trading your expertise not for cash, but for equity or profit share. This is what we do at my portfolio company LeadSpring. I made a full video on this called The Best Way to Make Money from SEO. Check it out after you finish here, link in the description. The next way to get a piece of the e-com pie is so easy it's stupid. Are you decent at sales? Do you know how to get SEO clients? Okay, then refer me those clients. I'll do the work and give you 10% per month for the lifetime of the client. We start at $3,500 a month with an average customer lifetime of 16 months. That comes out to $5,600 just for an introduction. Just head to thesearchinitiative.com/partnership and contact us to learn more.